Hi guys, this is your modern day spokesperson. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, please subscribe and like the video so that you don't miss out on any future content. Now you guys have been communicating with me so that I finish up the series on employee benefits standard IAS19. So this is it guys. So this is the given information. Precious Zulu Ltd gross monthly salaries from 1 January 20.17 to 31 December 20.17 amounted to 400,000 per month. The salaries and wages of employees are subjected to a 10% increase, which takes place at the beginning of each calendar year. Precious Ltd also has a policy of paying out bonuses, the 13th check, at the end of each calendar year based on the salaries for December of that calendar year. Okay, hope you can see clearly. The monthly the employees of Precious Zulu Ltd are entitled to 20 working days paid vacation leave per year. The leave cycle ends on 30 June of each year. 10 days may be carried forward to the next cycle and may then be taken during the cycle or paid out on the 31st of July of that cycle, right? So yeah, the following vacation was carried forward from 2019 financial year. 8 days by employees earning 50% of total salaries and wages of the company. 8 days by employees earning 40% of the total salaries and wages of the company. Okay. It is expected from past experience that vacation leave carried forward and taken in 2019 financial year will be as follows. 5 days by employees earning 50% of the total salaries and wages of the company. 6 days by employees who earn 40% of the total wages and salaries of the company. The following unused vacation leave days will be taken out on 31 July 2018. 3 days by employees earning 50% of the total salaries and wages of the company. 2 days by employees earning 40% of the total salaries and wages of the company. Unused leave transferred from 20.17 financial year and taken during the 20.18 financial year amounted to 50,000. Unused leave transferred from 20.17 financial year and paid out on 31 July 20.18 amounted to 40,000. Now the company has 252 working days per financial year. Now this one is not related to the question. Now guys, this is a lot of information. I mean, there's so many stories here. So now I want to help you know how to dissect the information and present it in such a way that it's going to be simple for you to answer the question. First of all, this is what we do now. You've got your short-term employee benefits calculations, right? Let's ignore the calculations there. You should have your salaries and wages section of the calculation, and then your bonus side. It should always be bonus paid, bonus accrual for the current year, bonus accrual for the previous year. Ne? And on the leave side, which I was told to place serious emphasis on this is how I started out. I always go with leave paid, just as I did with bonus paid. I do the provision for the current year, provision for the previous year, and leave paid out if there is any. So I'm going to explain this in detail when we get to the workings. So in this sort of activity, it's very important to note when your year end is, right? So that means the year starts at 1st July 20.17 and ends at 30 June 20.18, right? Starts 20.17, 20.18. That's the year end of the company. Okay, let's quickly jump into the employee benefits calculation. Let's start out with salaries and wages. Now, the information that we're given here is that the gross salaries are 400,000 per month for the period of 1 January to 31 December, right? So this is how the salary payments are going. But you should note that our year begins on the 1st of July, right? Our financial year. And the wages of the employees are subject to 10% increase, which takes place during the beginning of each calendar year. That means every 1st of January there is an increase. So now how do you account for this? Very simple. We first account for the portion starting from the beginning of our financial year. You don't have to confuse the calendar year with the financial year. Here you need to account for everything that is happening within your financial year. So this is where our financial year starts up until 31 December, which is July, August, September, October, November, December. That is 6 months, right? So this is why we are going to go 6 times the 400,000. 1, 2, 3. Right? This is where we get the 24 00 000. Yeah, let me just leave it like that. Okay, yeah. So now we've accounted for the period of salaries for 1st July up until the 31st of December. But remember, our financial year is still running. So we also need to account for January 20.18 to our financial year end, which is 30 June. But now there's a twist, since remember they told us that our company that we're dealing here with has a policy to increase salaries at the beginning of every financial year. So now, since we're going to be starting from 20.18, so what we do here is still 6 months from January to June, still 6 months. So we still go 400,000 times 1.1, right? 1.1 is the 10% increase multiplied by the 6 months. And this is where you get the 2,640,000. So this is our total that we have accounted for salaries. Done, right? We're fine. Guys, don't forget to leave a comment on the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe so we can grow the channel and help more people. Okay, now, since we are done with this paragraph, let's come to where they start talking about bonuses. Right? Okay, so now remember, according to what I told you earlier on, is that you should always have your bonus paid, bonus accrued, or accrual for current year, and accrual for the previous year, a prior year. Okay, so now on the information that we're given, the only thing that they mention about the bonus here is that they told us that the company also has a policy of paying out bonuses, the 13th check, at the end of each calendar year based on salaries for December of that calendar year, right? That means your normal January, February calendar period. Okay, fine. So they told us that our 13th check is going to be 400,000, right? So that's the bonus that is going to be paid. This is the 400,000 because it's a 13th check, your extra check. So now for your bonus, this is where some of the confusion comes through, right? When it comes to the bonus accrual for the current year and the previous year. So now, guys, I really want to talk about this previous and current and prior year and the current year, the accrual situation here. Remember that previously, on the previous financial year, right, which would be 2016-2017, the company had made a provision for the following year, which is the current year that we are at, right, of 400,000 based on the increase that they had at the time, right? So when we talk about an accrual, a bonus accrual, we're talking about something that was on the prior year. It was provided for on the previous year. So when it comes to the current year, we need to subtract it from our movement in accruals. Always, this is something that you always have to know. So this is why we are going to remove it. The 6 months, I think by now you know where it comes from, because our calendar year and our financial year ends are not the same, right? This is why we still use the 6 months. So now for the current year, when you do a bonus accrual for the current year, you're actually making a provision for the following year, right? The following year. Remember, after 6 months, the 6 months that starts from July to December, the January that's going to run from January to 30 June, which is going to be our year end, there is an increase of 10%. They did tell us that salaries are going to increase by 10%, right? As you can see there. So this is why there's an increase here, which takes it to 220. We do the mathematics here. We only add the 2 and subtract the prior year accrual, and that's how we get to that figure right there. Okay, now let's go to the last part of our answer, which is the leave accrual, right? The movement in the leave accrual, which usually gives a lot of people a lot of stress. But now I just want to simplify it for you guys. Sorry for the long video. There's no other option here because I need to explain everything comprehensively. Now, like I always do, just like with the bonus and I explained earlier, always start out with payments that were paid out, if there were any. You always look at the question. So fortunately here we did find one. They told us that unused leave transferred from 20.17 financial year and paid out on 31 July 2018, an amount of 40,000, right? So this is an amount which was not used in the previous year and it was paid out, right? So there's no need to do anything more than that. Okay, now fine. Now let's go back to the leave provision for the current year. Just like I told you with the bonus accrual for the current year, you are making provisions for the following year. And now the question here actually gives you a hint, because it says, it tells you that it is expected from past experiences that vacation leave carried forward and taken in 2019 will be as follows: 5 days by employees earning 50%, 6 days by employees earning 40% of the total wages and salaries. Right now, you might be asking, modern spokesman, where is the 440,000 coming from? Remember, let's go to our calculator. Remember, we had an increase in salaries, an increase of 10%, right? 1.1. This is where the 40% is coming from. The 440 instead of the 400,000, that's where it's coming from, right? So instead of trying to do the daily rate at one go, I decided to write it this way. So it's going to be the 440,000 multiplied by, it's going to be the 440,000 multiplied by 12. Remember that the leave period and the company's financial year end are not the same thing. So we're going to go 440,000, which is a monthly salary, multiplied by 12 because we need the total salary. Like I said, I preferred not to do separate calculations. That would have been confusing. Multiplied by 50% of the workers who are earning, multiplied by 50% of the workers who are earning 50%, sorry, of the salary and wage bill, right? Who decided, with the company says will take 5 days. So the 5 divided by 252 is our 252. It's the working days. So the reason why this was done like this is just to get the daily rate, right? The daily rate. So just as we were given on the second one, they told us that 6 days by employees earning 40% of the total salaries. So it's just a matter of filling in what you're given. This is the provision for the following year, right? And this is the total that you get there. Now, there is a leave provision prior year, no? Or from the previous year. As it is with the bonus accrual. You just go back to the information given, right? They tell you that unused leave transferred from 20.17 financial year during 20.18 financial year amounted to 50,000, right? This is another provision that they made. Unused leave transferred from 20.17 and paid out was 40,000, right? So that means the company made a provision of these two amounts, but this is the one that was actually paid out because those leaves were not taken. This is why we've got the 50,000 and 40,000 gives us 90,000. Remember, with previous provisions, we always take them out. This is why it's a negative here, right? And now let's go to the leave paid out on 31 July. Now again, let's go back to the given information. They tell us that the following unused vacation days will be paid out on 31 July 2018. Right, this is 3 days, 3 days by employees earning 50% of the total salaries, and 2 days by employees earning the total salaries. So now, same thing here, guys. The leave that was paid out on the 31st of July, the 440 because of course of the increase in the salaries, multiplied by the 50%, multiplied by 12 for 12 months, right? Multiplied by the 3 days that they spoke about and the 2 days. So we add the two together, and that's the total figure. So everything that you're always going to get, because questions vary and obviously you have to approach them in different ways, but always know that provisions from the previous year are the ones that we always take out. We always minus them. So guys, I hope you really understood what I tried to show you here. If you don't understand, please just leave a comment and I'll attend to it. Nda.